What up, boxing world? I know it's fairly early to make my prediction, but I figure there's not much to say about this fight, and let's just get it over with. The fighter I'm talking about is Mosley versus Mayorga. All right, made a video before, and I thought that this was going to be a garbage fight, and I have not changed my mind. All right, they're trying to hype the fight up. All right, tell you that much. All right, you got the slapping of the cigarette out of Mayorga's mouth by Mosley session. You know, it's going viral on YouTube. Everybody's watching it. I've seen it. Some people said that it's a stage. It's staged. That, you know, just trying to hype the fight up. This is Mosley's coming back or coming out of retirement fight. All right, and Mayorga, we all know Mayorga just wants to get paid. All right. He's not there to try to win any title or try to win any any belts or to continue on in his boxing career. We all know that's not the case. I mean, Mosley versus Mayorga is happening for one reason and one reason only, and that is financial situation. Regardless of what Mosley said, that he's looking into getting a rematch with some of the opponents that he fought before and lost to before. It's not going to happen because Mayweather's not going to fight him, right? Mayweather's not about to give Mosley a rematch. It's not going to happen, right? And if he wants to fight Pacquiao, I don't know. That's something that I don't really want to see. You know what I mean? We've already seen him, fought, and it wasn't like it was much of a competition. It wasn't. So, anyway, Mosley, I like Mosley. He's a good, solid fighter. Before, all right, he's got almost 2 years of layoff. He's over 40 years old. You know what I mean? Now, I don't necessarily think that Mosley is gonna lose to Mayorga unless he gets caught with them crazy, wild shots that Mayorga throws. But anyways, I don't see that happening. And my prediction of this fight is very easy. All right, Mosley versus Mayorga. Mosley wins via knockout against Mayorga within 5 rounds. Alright? Mosley's going to knock out Mayorga within 5 rounds. That's simple as it is. Like I said, there's no point of prolonging the prediction of Mosley versus Mayorga 2 when there's not much to say. You know what I mean? They still have a week or two to promote the fight, maybe push each other, talk shit, because that's what Mayorga does. Mayorga talks shit, get on people's nerves, and that's why he hypes the fight, and I have no doubt that this fight could actually be sold, even though I said it's going to be a garbage fight. Why? Because of Mayorga's mouth. He doesn't speak English or anything like that, but he's always been translated and all stuff. So, Mosley does not speak English. I mean, speak Spanish. We all know that. So, if there's anything that's going to be hyped this fight up, it's going to be physical, slapping with a cigarette, so to example, and then maybe on the weigh-in press conference, there's gonna be some push in there when they do their stare downs. I mean, that's all it is, or Mayorga would spit in Mosley's face, so to speak. That type of hyping of the fight stuff. You know what I mean? But as far as the fight itself, it's probably not gonna be as great as what people think. Yes, Mayorga has not fought for a long time, and that's what entices people to watch him. He's Nicaraguan, right? He's from Nicaragua. He has some power. You know what I'm saying? Let me put it this way: you don't want to get hit by a wild shot of Mayorga. You potentially gonna go down. If you get hit by one of them crazy stuff. Mayorga has some power. You got it. But as far as style, defense, and actual boxing skills, no, man, there's none. It's just like the hype. Mayorga has not fought for a very long time. Matter of fact, he tried to go MMA and stuff like that and got disqualified and do some dumb stuff outside the ring of his personal life, get in trouble with the law, financial breakdown, whatever. So this fight is about financial situations of both fighters. That's Mosley and Mayorga, as you guys already know. It's gonna be a funny fight. That's why people want to watch it. Analogy. Okay, some things that we've seen in the past, boxing matches and stuff like that, they don't necessarily turn out the way we want it to be, or we want it to, or we expect it, not always, right? But hyping the fight, with the trash talking and being physical on press conferences or stare downs, it boosts, it hypes the fight, it entices people to watch the fight, and you got some solid fights out there. As a matter of fact, what was that, a couple weeks ago, that was a solid fight, and I said, man, that was a good fight, can't remember it was. There's so many boxing matches happening, I can't remember, but it was a couple weeks ago that I made a video and said that was a good fight, and I enjoyed it, even though it didn't last that long, but I enjoyed it. You guys know what I'm talking about. But that fight should have been hyped better, but since both fighters don't talk trash and friendly and all this stuff, it didn't sell as much as I thought it would. Now I have no doubt, or probably gonna happen, is Mosley Mayorga will sell pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was what? It was $74, $64. Oh no, I'm sorry, $49. That's a little too much, and I said it before. It should have been like $19. And people, probably sell more. But I have no doubt that people will watch it. Not necessarily buy the pay-per-view, but they'll watch it. But as far as the fight itself, it already has begun. Like I said, the last stare down where Mayorga blew the smoke up Mosley's face, and Mosley had a quick reflex there and slapped the cigarette off Mayorga's mouth. I mean, yeah, those are good hyping of the fight. That's all there is to it. Now, one thing for sure that I know that is probably what people are looking for is a knockout. How devastating, or how beautiful, embarrassing Mayorga is going to get knocked out by Mosley. In what way? Is it going to be a left hook, right hook? Is it going to be an uppercut? Is it going to be a one punch, or is it going to be a combination? That's what people are looking forward to this fight for. But it's, like I said, because it's on pay-per-view, I do not agree with that $49. I'm not about to pay that. That's not going to happen. Now, I'll watch the fight, to my neighbors, some stuff like that, stream, whatever. But there's just no way for me. I mean, yeah, $49 is easy to come. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to come out with $49, right? No problem. $49, watch the fight, have a laugh, you know what I'm saying? Laugh at it and enjoy your weekend, whatever, right? But it's just so hard for somebody like me, or a lot of boxing fans as well, to cough up $49, nearly $50, to watch Mosley versus Mayorga. It's just not. I'll save that money to pay for somebody else's fight. You know what I mean? That's just Mayorga versus Mosley. It'll be 29th of August, so a couple weeks from now. But it just, I can't believe, how we boxing fans sometimes fall for some stupid stuff, and I know Mayweather versus Pacquiao was the same, got it, you know what I'm saying, but that fight had to be seen, it had to be bought. We wanted to see it, regardless of, the outcome was not as great as we thought it would be, or a lot of disappointment, or a lot of controversies and lawsuits, whatever. It had to happen, and we saw it. But does Mosley versus Mayorga have to happen? No, absolutely not. Does Golovkin versus Lemieux have to happen? No, absolutely not. Nobody wants to see those fights. Like I said in my video, the Golovkin, just off topic here for a second. Like I said on my previous video, when I said Golovkin versus Lemieux is being hyped, and it's wrong, because as much as a lot of people saying, or on social media, the boxing world, and they're trying to promote this fight as it's going to be a big drama show, or it's going to be, what did I say, an explosive fight. Please watch my video on that, or what I said, because if they're going to bullshit people, alright, to try to buy pay-per-view, because just because they said it's going to be an explosive, big drama show fight, they have to try harder because their bullshit stinks, and I'm not going to buy it. All right. Golovkin is a good, solid fighter. But it ain't gonna be no explosive, big drama show like it's actually gonna be toe-to-toe, blood cuts and all that stuff against David Lemieux. Come on, man, it's not gonna happen. And nonetheless, Mosley versus Mayorga. No. People want to watch the Mayorga versus Mosley only to laugh. They want to see Mayorga act a fool and get knocked out because he talks trash. Like I said, he gets physical, and you know, and that's what entices his opponent to knock him out. You know, he's already begun, like I said, you know, he already had the stare down, blowing his face smoke, and slapping of the cigarette off the mouth. I mean, it has begun. You know what I'm saying? And they need to do that. They do need to do that, you know. Some people, like I said, some people said it was staged and it's whatever, you know. But for me, to be convinced that the fight, like Mosley versus Mayorga 2, is going to be great, they got to try harder because they're just not going to buy it. And that's the same with Golovkin versus Lemieux. Alright, so, well, that's just my opinion, guys. Let me know what you guys think. My prediction, again, Mosley knocks out Mayorga within 5 rounds. I only say it was 5 rounds, not 2 rounds, is because I can see Mayorga throwing some wild shots, wobble wobble, but he might end on the 2nd round, you know, 2nd or 3rd round. He might. I believe Mayorga might survive the 1st round. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Mosley hasn't been in the game for almost 2 years, so he might be a little rusty, but his reflexes are still there, as you guys saw when he slapped that cigarette off from Mayorga's mouth. Well, it's fast, man. So you entice people to gonna want to watch it, but paying for it, that's a different story. Again, let me know what you guys think. Mosley knocks out Mayorga within 5 rounds. Drop me a comment, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.